Every morning before the sun had fully risen, little Mina would tie the leashes of her two dogs and step outside. The air was cool and the quiet streets of her neighborhood held a soft, sleepy charm. Mina's dogs, Bingo and Tuffy, wagged their tails happily, sensing the excitement of the morning walk. The trio had a routine. They would walk past the bakery, where the smell of fresh bread floated in the air, then turn by the park where the grass glistened with dew. People in the neighborhood had started to notice Mina. She was a small girl, maybe 8 or 9, with big curious eyes and a calm smile. Her hair was tied in 2 braids and she wore a little blue jacket that matched the color of the morning sky. Every day she moved with a strange sense of purpose, as if she were on a mission that only she knew about. "Good morning, Mina," Mrs. Cooper called from her window. She had lived on the street for more than 20 years and always admired Mina's discipline. "Good morning, Mrs. Cooper," Mina said politely. She paused to let Bingo sniff the flower bed near the fence while Tuffy rolled over on the grass. The neighborhood was still quiet, and the birds sang their early songs. Mina liked these walks because they were peaceful. She could think, watch the clouds and listen to the wind rustling through the trees. But there was more to these walks than just enjoying the morning. Mina had a secret she carried carefully, hidden behind her innocent smile. She had discovered it by accident one day, when she was walking her dogs and noticed something unusual in the park. There was a small glowing object half buried in the soil near the old oak tree. When she reached down to touch it, the glow disappeared, leaving her confused and curious. From that day on, Mina began to notice strange things that others never seemed to see. At first, she thought she was imagining it. A shadow moving too quickly, a glimmer of light where there should have been none, a faint sound that vanished as soon as she turned her head. But soon Mina realized these things were real. They were small, almost invisible, but they were there. Every morning she would check the park carefully. She would let Bingo and Tuffy run ahead, sniffing every corner, every bush, every tree. Mina knew that the secret was somewhere in the park, waiting for her to find it. She could not tell anyone, not even her parents. They would have been worried, and Mina wanted to understand it all herself before anyone else knew. One morning, as the sun began to rise, Mina walked her usual path. The bakery was just opening, and the scent of fresh bread filled the air. Mrs. Cooper waved again from her window. The park was quiet except for the rustle of leaves and the soft bark of Bingo. Mina felt a small tingle of excitement. Today, she thought, she might finally discover something new. She walked past the oak tree and stopped. The soil looked disturbed, as if something had moved under it recently. She knelt down and brushed the dirt away with her small hands. Her fingers touched something hard and smooth. It was a small silver box, no bigger than a jewelry case. Mina's heart raced. She looked around quickly. Nobody was there, only the 2 dogs waiting patiently. She opened the box carefully. Inside there was a tiny glowing crystal. It shone with colors that changed like a rainbow, and Mina could feel a warmth coming from it. She gasped softly. Bingo barked once, and Tuffy jumped beside her. Mina smiled at them. "I found it," she whispered. She did not know why, but she felt that the crystal was important. Somehow it connected to everything she had been noticing lately. The shadows, the lights, the strange sounds. She decided to keep it hidden. Mina placed it in her pocket and continued her walk as if nothing had happened. Her dogs were happy, running through the grass, and Mina smiled quietly. She knew she would have to learn more about the crystal, but she could not risk showing it to anyone yet. Over the next few days, Mina became even more careful during her walks. She watched the park with sharper eyes, noticing small movements and tiny changes. She realized the crystal was reacting to her presence. It pulsed softly whenever she was near, as if it recognized her. Mina also noticed that the dogs were different around the crystal. They were calmer, almost protective. She tried leaving the crystal at home one day, but the dogs became restless, whining and circling around her. That confirmed her suspicion. The crystal was special, and somehow connected to her and her dogs. At school, Mina acted like any other girl. She laughed with friends, answered questions in class, and drew pictures during free time. Nobody could guess what she was hiding. Her secret made her feel both excited and nervous. She wanted to understand it, but she also wanted to keep it safe. One afternoon, while walking home, Mina noticed a man standing near the park entrance. He looked unusual, wearing dark clothes and watching the park carefully. Mina felt a shiver. She had never seen him before, and something about his presence made her uneasy. She tugged on the dog's leashes and kept walking quickly, glancing back. The man did not move. He only stared at the park. Mina's mind raced. Should she tell someone? Should she hide the crystal somewhere else? She decided to wait and watch carefully. Perhaps it was just a coincidence, but something inside her said it was not. That night, Mina placed the crystal under her pillow. It glowed softly, lighting the small room with gentle colors. She could not sleep at first, thinking about what she had found about the man near the park, and about all the strange things she had seen. The crystal pulsed in her hand, and Mina felt a quiet strength coming from it. Over the next week, she continued her morning walks, more alert than ever. The man appeared a few more times, always standing at a distance watching. Mina made sure to keep the crystal hidden and never let anyone see it. She even told Bingo and Tuffy to stay close, as if they could understand the danger. Despite the tension, Mina loved her walks. They were her time, her place to think, to explore, and to feel free. But she also knew that her secret was getting harder to protect. People were starting to notice small things. The way she sometimes disappeared into the park for longer than usual, the way the dog seemed unusually alert, and the quiet glow of her window at night. Mina had to be careful. She could not let anyone find out about the crystal yet. She needed time to understand it. She needed to discover why it pulsed with energy, why the dogs reacted to it, and why she felt connected to it in ways she could not explain. One morning, as the sun rose and painted the sky in shades of pink and gold, Mina walked to the oak tree. She knelt down and touched the soil gently. The crystal was gone from her pocket. Her heart skipped a beat. She looked around quickly, but there was no sign of it. Bingo barked and Tuffy sniffed the ground. Mina felt a strange mixture of fear and excitement. Something had moved the crystal, but she did not know who or why. She realized that her secret was no longer just hers. Someone or something else had noticed it. Mina stood up slowly. She tugged on the leashes, signaling the dogs to follow her. Her mind was racing with questions, but she knew one thing for sure. Her walks had changed. They were no longer just peaceful mornings with her dogs. They had become the beginning of a mystery, one that she would have to solve carefully and bravely. As she walked past the bakery and turned the corner, she glanced back at the oak tree. The early sunlight cast long shadows across the grass, and Mina felt a shiver of anticipation. The secret she had been hiding was about to become more complicated, and she knew that the adventure of discovering it had only just begun. The morning after the crystal disappeared, Mina could hardly sleep. Her small room felt too quiet, almost too empty without the soft glow of the crystal. She sat up in bed and looked at the window. The sunlight had begun to filter through the curtains, painting the room in warm colors. Bingo and Tuffy were lying beside her, sensing her worry. Mina got up quietly and tied her shoes. She whispered, "We have to find it, friends." The dogs wagged their tails, ready for the day's walk. Mina took a deep breath and grabbed their leashes. Today, she knew, the walk would not be the usual calm journey. Something had changed. As they reached the park, Mina noticed fresh footprints in the soil near the oak tree. They were small, but different from hers and the dogs. Someone had been there. Her heart raced with both excitement and fear. The crystal had not just disappeared by itself. Mina had to be careful, but she also had to follow the clues. She knelt down and examined the footprints. They led toward the far side of the park, near the small pond where the lilies grew. Mina tugged on Bingo's leash gently, and he sniffed the ground, following the trail. Tuffy padded along quietly, his eyes alert. Mina's mind worked quickly. Whoever had taken the crystal must not know that she had noticed. She had to act carefully. The trail led them through tall grass and under low branches. Mina could feel her excitement growing. She had always loved mysteries, and this one was unlike anything she had ever faced. But at the same time, she felt a little scared. The crystal had always been safe in her pocket, and now it was out there, in the hands of someone she did not know. Suddenly, Bingo stopped. He barked softly and looked toward a clump of bushes. Mina crept closer, her heart thumping. She parted the branches and gasped softly. The crystal was lying on a patch of grass, glowing faintly, but nearby, crouched low, was a small figure. The figure seemed to be studying the crystal carefully. Mina froze. She had never seen this person before. They were wearing a green jacket and a cap pulled low over their face. Mina could not see their eyes clearly, but she could feel their attention focused on the crystal. The person seemed unaware of Mina, Bingo, and Tuffy. Mina whispered to herself, "I have to be careful." She did not want to startle them. Slowly, she stepped back, trying to think of a plan. She could not run. The person might take the crystal and disappear. She had to act smart. Just then, Tuffy barked once. It was a small sound, but it caught the figure's attention. The person stood up quickly and glanced around. Mina held her breath. The figure seemed confused for a moment, then sprinted toward the trees at the far end of the park. Without thinking, Mina ran after them, the dogs close behind. Her small legs moved as fast as they could, but the figure was quicker. They vanished between the trees, leaving only the faint glow of the crystal behind. Mina reached the spot and picked up the crystal. It pulsed softly in her hand as if greeting her. She hugged it tightly. "You're safe now," she whispered. Bingo barked happily and Tuffy wagged his tail. Mina's mind raced with questions. Who was that person? Why had they taken the crystal? And most importantly, what did they want with it? For the rest of the day, Mina could not focus on anything else. At school, she kept looking out the window, thinking about the mysterious figure. During lunch, she told her best friend, Lila, that she needed to check on something in the park after school. Lila smiled. She trusted Mina's instincts, but Mina could not tell her the real reason. The crystal had to remain a secret. After school, Mina hurried home, changed into her walking shoes, and grabbed the leashes. Bingo and Tuffy wagged their tails excitedly. Mina felt a mix of fear and determination. She had to understand what was happening before anyone else discovered the crystal. When they reached the park, Mina noticed small changes. The footprints were gone, and the area around the oak tree seemed untouched. But Mina had learned to trust her instincts. Something had happened here, and she needed to find clues. She carefully examined the grass, the dirt, and the trees. After a few minutes, she spotted a small piece of green cloth caught on a branch. Mina picked it up. It matched the jacket of the figure she had seen earlier. This confirmed her suspicion. Someone had been here studying the crystal. But why? And how had they known it existed? Mina held the piece of cloth tightly. She had to be more careful now. That night, Mina hid the crystal in a small box under her bed. She did not tell her parents, and she did not tell Lila. She wrote down everything she had observed in a small notebook, keeping track of footprints, strange figures, and unusual movements. Mina knew that if she was going to protect the crystal and understand its power, she needed to be organized and alert. Over the next few days, Mina noticed more changes in the park. Small things moved from one place to another. Shadows appeared where they should not be, and the dogs sometimes barked at empty spaces. Mina realized that the crystal might be drawing attention from forces she could not yet understand. One morning, as Mina walked past the park, she saw the figure again. They were standing near the pond, watching carefully. Mina stopped and observed quietly. The figure did not see her, but the crystal in her pocket pulsed faintly. Mina realized that the person might be drawn to it, sensing its energy. She decided to follow them carefully. She kept a safe distance, letting Bingo and Tuffy move freely while she stayed behind. The figure walked through the park, then into a narrow alley at the far side. Mina followed silently, careful not to make a sound. The alley was dark and narrow, with tall walls on either side. At the end of the alley, the figure stopped. They crouched down and placed something on the ground. Mina crept closer and saw a small device that glowed faintly. The figure pressed a button and a soft hum filled the air. Mina gasped softly. She had never seen anything like it before. The crystal's energy seemed to respond to the device. Mina realized that the person was trying to use the crystal for something. She did not know what, but she knew it could be dangerous if it fell into the wrong hands. She had to protect it. Slowly, she backed away, careful not to be noticed. She needed a plan. When she returned home, Mina thought long and hard. She could not confront the figure directly. She did not know who they were or what they wanted. But she could observe, learn, and prepare. She would keep the crystal safe and continue her walks, watching for clues. That night, Mina placed the crystal under her pillow again. Bingo and Tuffy lay close, keeping watch. Mina felt a mixture of excitement and determination. Her mornings had always been peaceful, but now they were filled with mystery. She knew that she had to be brave, clever, and patient. The secret she had found was not just hers anymore. Someone else was aware of it, and Mina had to be ready for whatever came next. As she drifted to sleep, Mina made a silent promise to herself. She would protect the crystal, uncover its secrets, and ensure that nobody misused it. The adventures were just beginning, and she was ready to face them one morning walk at a time. The next morning, Mina woke up earlier than usual. Her small room was filled with soft light, and she could hear Bingo and Tuffy stretching and yawning beside her bed. Mina rubbed her eyes and whispered, "Today we need to find answers." She tied the dogs' leashes quickly and stepped outside. The morning air was crisp and the neighborhood still held that quiet charm that she loved so much. As they walked toward the park, Mina kept her eyes sharp. She had noticed that the mysterious figure appeared only at certain times, and today she hoped to learn more about them. Her heart beat faster with both excitement and nervousness. She knew she could not let anyone see her worry. Mina needed to be careful. When they reached the oak tree, Mina stopped and looked around. The grass was slightly bent in the direction of the pond, and the soft glow of the crystal pulsed faintly in her pocket. Mina felt a strange warmth and realized that the crystal seemed to react to her focus. She knelt down and whispered, "We will find them today." Bingo barked softly and Tuffy sniffed the ground eagerly. Mina followed the footprints leading to the far side of the park. The dew on the grass made her shoes damp, but she did not mind. Her determination was stronger than any discomfort. She felt as if the crystal was guiding her, leading her toward something important. Suddenly, a shadow moved between the trees. Mina froze and held the leashes tightly. The figure was there, wearing the same green jacket as before. Mina's heart raced. She had never seen anyone like this in the neighborhood, and yet here they were again. The figure carried a small device in their hands, the same glowing device she had seen before. Mina crouched behind a bush, keeping herself hidden. She watched carefully as the figure knelt down near a patch of grass and placed the device on the ground. The crystal in her pocket pulsed stronger, and Mina felt a small shiver run through her body. Something about the device and the crystal connected, but she did not know how. The figure pressed a button and the device emitted a faint hum. The crystal's light responded, growing brighter and flickering in colors that Mina had never seen before. Mina gasped softly. She realized that the crystal's power could interact with other objects. The person might be trying to understand it just like she was, but their intentions were unclear. Carefully, Mina moved closer, using the bushes and trees as cover. Bingo and Tuffy stayed close, sensing the tension. She had to observe carefully without revealing herself. As she watched, she noticed that the figure seemed to be studying the crystal's energy, taking small notes on a paper tucked into their jacket pocket. Mina realized that this person was clever, and she would need to be clever too. After a few minutes, the figure stood up and looked around. Mina froze. She could not let them see her. The figure slowly walked toward the trees and disappeared from view. Mina waited for a moment, making sure it was safe to move. Then she stepped out from behind the bush and checked the device. It was still glowing faintly, and she could feel the energy coming from it. Mina touched the device carefully. A warm sensation ran through her fingers, similar to what she felt from the crystal. She realized that the crystal had power, but it could also connect with other things. This discovery made her both excited and cautious. She needed to learn more, but she could not risk losing the crystal again. For the next few days, Mina's walks became missions. She observed the park closely, noting small changes in the environment, footprints, and the subtle hum of the crystal when it was near certain objects. She discovered that the crystal could make certain objects glow, even if they were ordinary. Mina was amazed. This power was incredible, but it also meant that she had to be very careful. One afternoon, Mina decided to test the crystal's abilities further. She walked to a quiet corner of the park and placed the crystal on the grass. She stepped back and focused on it. Slowly, the crystal's glow spread to the nearby stones and leaves, making them shimmer with soft light. Mina's eyes widened. She realized that the crystal could affect its surroundings in subtle ways. Bingo and Tuffy watched closely, their tails wagging. Mina smiled. She whispered, "We have to understand you fully, little one." The crystal pulsed in response, almost as if it understood her words. Mina felt a connection she could not explain, a bond that made her feel both happy and responsible. But Mina also knew she had to be careful. The mysterious figure could return at any moment. She could not let the crystal fall into the wrong hands. Her thoughts were interrupted by a soft rustle in the bushes. Mina turned quickly. The figure was back, crouched low and watching her carefully. Mina's heart raced. She had to act fast. She grabbed the crystal and held it close. Bingo barked and Tuffy growled softly. The figure stepped back, startled by the dog's alertness. Mina realized that her companions were not just pets, they were protectors. The figure watched her for a moment, then slowly raised their hands as if to show they meant no harm. Mina hesitated. Could she trust them? She did not know, but before she could decide, the figure spoke in a soft voice. I am not here to hurt you, they said. I only want to understand the crystal. Please do not be afraid. Mina's eyes widened. She had never heard anyone speak about the crystal like that. The figure seemed sincere, but Mina knew she could not trust easily. She kept the crystal close and said, Why do you want it? The figure paused, then said, This crystal is special. I have been studying strange phenomena for years, and it called to me. I want to learn to protect it and to understand its power. I will not take it from you if you let me help. Mina thought carefully. She had always solved problems on her own, but this person might know things she did not. She glanced at Bingo and Tuffy, who seemed alert but calm. Mina made a decision. Okay, she said slowly. You can help, but you must promise to follow my rules. Nobody else can know about the crystal. The figure nodded solemnly. I promise. Mina felt a small sense of relief. She realized that she was not alone anymore. Someone else could help her understand the crystal and its powers, but she also knew that trust had to be earned, and she would watch the figure carefully. Over the next few weeks, Mina and the mysterious person met in the park regularly. They studied the crystal, tested its effects on objects, and observed how it reacted to different energies. Mina learned that the crystal could store small amounts of energy, create light, and even make the surroundings feel warmer. The person taught her about focus and observation, helping her understand the crystal in ways she could not have discovered alone. Despite the progress, Mina never let her guard down. She kept the crystal hidden from everyone else, including her parents and friends. She also continued her usual walks, blending her secret research with her daily routine. The mornings were still her time, a moment of peace before the day's adventures began. One morning, as they studied the crystal near the oak tree, Bingo suddenly barked loudly. Mina looked up and saw a small group of birds circling above. The figure frowned. The crystal is attracting attention, they said quietly. We need to be careful. Others might notice its energy. Mina nodded. She realized that their discovery had made the crystal even more important. It was no longer just a secret between her and her dogs. It had a power that could draw attention from those who did not understand it. Mina felt both responsibility and excitement. That evening, Mina placed the crystal carefully in its hiding spot under her bed. She hugged Bingo and Tuffy and whispered, We are ready, little one. We will protect you no matter what. The crystal pulsed softly, as if responding to her promise. Mina knew that her mornings, her walks, and her quiet neighborhood life would never be the same. The crystal had changed everything. It had brought mystery, adventure, and new challenges, but Mina felt ready. With her loyal dogs and her new companion, she was prepared to face whatever came next. The secret she had discovered was no longer just a mystery, it was a mission. And Mina, with her courage and determination, was ready to see it through. The next morning, Mina woke to a soft glow in her room. The crystal under her pillow pulsed gently as if sensing her thoughts. She stretched and whispered to Bingo and Tuffy, Today we need to be extra careful. The dogs wagged their tails and followed her as she tied their leashes. Mina felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. The mornings had begun to feel more like adventures than simple walks, and she knew that something important was about to happen. As they walked toward the park, Mina noticed the early sunlight painting the grass in golden colors. The neighborhood was quiet, but she could feel a subtle energy in the air. Something had changed. The crystal seemed more active, pulsing with a stronger light whenever she thought about it. Mina held the crystal tightly in her pocket, feeling its warmth spread through her fingers. When they reached the oak tree, Mina paused to watch the park carefully. The figure in the green jacket was not there yet. Mina realized that this was her chance to explore without being watched. She knelt down near the tree and touched the soil gently. Bingo sniffed the ground and Tuffy wagged his tail. Mina whispered, We need to find more clues today. Suddenly, a soft rustling came from the bushes. Mina froze. A small group of birds flew away, startled by the sound. Mina's heart raced. She held the crystal tightly and watched carefully. From behind the bushes, a faint light glowed. The crystal pulsed in response, stronger this time. Mina realized that the crystal could sense other sources of energy nearby. She took a deep breath and followed the light quietly. Bingo and Tuffy stayed close, their instincts guiding them. The light led them toward the far side of the park, near the pond with lilies. There Mina saw something incredible. A small patch of flowers glowed softly, and the glow seemed to respond to the crystal in her pocket. Mina knelt down and touched the flowers gently. They shimmered with colors she had never seen before. Mina gasped softly. She realized that the crystal could affect living things in a gentle way. She felt a sense of wonder and responsibility. This was more than a secret. It was a power that could bring beauty and light into the world if used carefully. As she studied the glowing flowers, Mina heard footsteps approaching. She turned quickly and saw the figure in the green jacket walking toward her. The figure's face was calm, but their eyes showed curiosity and respect. "You have discovered something important," the figure said softly. "The crystal reacts to life, to energy, and to intention. It is more powerful than we imagined. We must be careful who knows about it." Mina nodded. She held the crystal tightly and said, "I understand. We have to protect it. I cannot let anyone misuse it." The figure smiled slightly. "That is wise. We will work together, but you must promise to always keep it safe and hidden." "I promise," Mina said. She felt a small sense of relief. She had always solved problems on her own, but now she realized that having help could make her stronger. Over the next few days, Mina and the figure experimented with the crystal carefully. They discovered that it could make objects glow, heal small plants, and even make the air around it feel warmer and more comforting. Mina felt a sense of pride. She was learning to understand something extraordinary, and she had the courage to protect it. One morning, as Mina walked through the park with Bingo and Tuffy, she noticed something unusual. The air felt heavier, and the birds were unusually quiet. Mina's heart raced. She glanced around carefully and saw a small group of people approaching. They were not like anyone she had seen before. Their clothes were plain, but their eyes were sharp and observant. Mina realized immediately that they had sensed the crystal's energy. She held the crystal tightly in her pocket and whispered to the dogs, "We have to be careful." Bingo barked softly and Tuffy growled quietly. Mina knew that the crystal's power was attracting attention, and she had to act fast. The figure in the green jacket appeared from behind a tree. "They are coming for it," the figure said. "We must protect it," Mina nodded. Her heart beat faster, but she felt a surge of determination. She had faced challenges before, but this was different. Now they had to hide the crystal and protect its secret from people who did not understand it. They moved quickly through the park, using the trees and bushes for cover. Mina led the dogs and the figure to a hidden corner near the edge of the park. She placed the crystal on a small patch of moss and whispered a soft command. The crystal glowed faintly and seemed to blend with its surroundings, becoming almost invisible to the untrained eye. The approaching group paused, scanning the area carefully. Mina held her breath. The group moved slowly, checking the bushes and trees. Bingo barked once and Tuffy growled softly, but the crystal remained hidden. After a tense moment, the group turned and walked away, unable to find the source of the energy. Mina exhaled slowly. She had never felt so relieved. The crystal was safe, at least for now. She hugged Bingo and Tuffy and whispered, "Good job, friends. We did it." The figure in the green jacket nodded. "You are brave and clever, Mina. The crystal chose you for a reason. You understand its importance." Mina felt a warm glow of pride. She realized that she had grown stronger in the past few weeks. She was not just a little girl walking her dogs anymore. She was a protector of something extraordinary, and she had the courage to face challenges that others could not imagine. That evening, Mina returned home and placed the crystal carefully under her bed. She wrote in her notebook, recording every detail of the day's events. She knew that keeping the crystal safe required careful planning, observation, and courage. Mina also knew that the adventures were far from over. The next morning, Mina woke to a bright, sunny day. The crystal pulsed softly under her pillow as if encouraging her. She tied the leashes and stepped outside with Bingo and Tuffy. As they walked through the neighborhood, she noticed small changes in the park. Flowers seemed brighter, the grass greener, and the air felt lighter. Mina realized that the crystal's energy had a subtle effect on the world around her. She smiled quietly. The mornings were still peaceful, but now they held a new meaning. Every walk was a chance to learn, to protect, and to experience something extraordinary. Mina knew that her secret had grown bigger, and the responsibility had grown with it. But she also knew that she was ready. As they reached the oak tree, Mina paused and looked around. The park was calm. The birds sang softly and the sunlight danced through the leaves. Mina felt a sense of calm determination. She whispered to the crystal in her pocket, "We will keep you safe. We will learn together and we will face whatever comes next." Bingo barked happily and Tuffy wagged his tail. Mina knew that her loyal companions were ready too. Together they would protect the crystal, uncover its mysteries, and face any challenges that came their way. Mina's mornings had begun as simple walks with her dogs, but now they were adventures filled with mystery, discovery, and responsibility. She had learned that courage, intelligence, and loyalty were her greatest strengths, and she knew that the secret she had discovered was not just a mystery to solve, but a gift to protect and understand. As the sun rose higher in the sky, Mina took a deep breath and continued her walk with Bingo and Tuffy. The crystal pulsed softly in her pocket, as if acknowledging her determination. Mina smiled quietly. She knew that the adventure was far from over, but she also knew that she was ready for whatever lay ahead. The mornings would never be the same, but Mina would face them with courage, wisdom, and the loyalty of her faithful dogs. She had discovered something extraordinary, and she was determined to protect it no matter what. The morning sun painted the sky in shades of pink and gold. Mina tied the leashes of Bingo and Tuffy, her two loyal dogs, and stepped outside. Today felt different. The air was charged with a gentle energy, and even the birds seemed to sing a little louder. Mina held the crystal in her pocket, feeling its soft warmth. She had learned to sense its pulse and knew that today would be important. As they walked through the neighborhood, Mina noticed familiar faces smiling and waving. But she kept her eyes on the park where so many strange and wonderful things had happened. The oak tree stood tall and the grass shimmered with the early light. Mina could feel that something was about to change. When they reached the park, Mina saw the figure in the green jacket waiting near the pond. Their expression was calm but serious. Mina approached cautiously, holding the crystal tightly. The figure nodded. "Today," they said, "we may have to reveal the secret. Others will see, but they must understand." Mina's heart raced. She had kept the crystal hidden for so long. She had protected it, studied it, and learned from it. The thought of others discovering it made her nervous, but she also knew that keeping such power a secret forever might not be possible. Today, she would face the truth. The figure led Mina to a small clearing near the center of the park. Mina placed the crystal on a flat stone and knelt beside it. She focused on its energy, and it pulsed brighter in response. The glow spread slowly, illuminating the flowers, the grass, and even the nearby trees. The park seemed alive with light. People passing by stopped in their tracks. They stared at the glowing patch of the park, amazed by the beauty and warmth radiating from it. Mina's heart beat fast. She had never imagined that so many people would notice the crystal. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility. Bingo barked happily and Tuffy wagged his tail. Mina smiled at them. She whispered, "We did it. We shared our secret, but carefully." The dogs seemed to understand, standing protectively by her side. The figure in the green jacket stepped forward. "This crystal," they said, "is special. It responds to energy, intention, and care. It can bring light, warmth, and growth. But it is not a toy or a possession. It must be respected and protected." Mina felt proud. She realized that her careful observation, courage, and loyalty had led to this moment. People were beginning to understand that the crystal was extraordinary, but they also saw Mina's bravery in protecting it all this time. A few neighbors approached slowly, their eyes wide with wonder. "How is this possible?" one asked. "It's glowing and the park looks different," another said. Mina looked at them calmly and said, "It is special. It is a gift, but it needs care and respect. That is why I have kept it hidden until now." The neighbors nodded, some smiling, some still amazed. They could feel the gentle energy of the crystal, and many instinctively stepped back, allowing Mina to guide them. She realized that the crystal's energy was not just a secret anymore. It had become a shared wonder, something that could inspire and teach. As people observed, Mina noticed small changes in the park. Flowers grew taller, Leaves shimmered, and the air felt lighter and warmer. She could feel the crystal responding to her calm and focused mind. She had learned that caring, patience, and responsibility could control its power, not force or fear. The figure in the green jacket spoke again. Mina has shown courage beyond her years. She understood the responsibility before anyone else. Today we honor her bravery and her careful protection of this gift. Mina felt her cheeks grow warm. She was proud, but she also felt humble. She looked at Bingo and Tuffy, who wagged their tails, and she realized that she had not done it alone. Her companions had helped her stay vigilant and brave. Some of the neighbors stepped closer, curious but respectful. They asked questions about the crystal, its powers, and its effects. Mina answered simply, carefully, and truthfully. She did not reveal everything, only what was safe to share. The crystal's glow responded to her honesty, pulsing gently as if it approved. After a while, the figure in the green jacket addressed the crowd. This crystal must be protected, but it can inspire and teach. It responds to care, respect, and thoughtfulness. Mina has shown all of these qualities. Let us ensure that it is never misused and that its light continues to shine for good. The neighbors nodded in agreement. They were amazed and inspired by Mina's courage. They could see that she had kept the secret for weeks, studied the crystal carefully, and protected it from those who might misuse it. Mina realized that she had grown stronger, wiser, and braver through this experience. As the morning passed, the crowd slowly dispersed, leaving Mina, the figure in the green jacket, and the dogs alone in the park. Mina knelt beside the crystal and smiled. "We did it, friends," she said softly. "We kept it safe and now others understand. But we must continue to protect it." Bingo barked happily and Tuffy nudged her hand with his nose. Mina laughed quietly. She felt a sense of peace and pride she had never felt before. The crystal was no longer just a secret. It was a responsibility, a gift, and a lesson in courage, care, and honesty. Over the next few days, Mina continued her morning walks, but now the park was different. People respected the area around the crystal, giving her space and admiring its glow from a distance. The figure in the green jacket continued to help Mina understand the crystal's powers. Together they observed, experimented safely, and protected the park. Mina realized that her life had changed in small but important ways. She had grown braver, wiser, and more confident. She had learned to observe carefully, think quickly, and act responsibly. Most importantly, she had learned that courage and loyalty were stronger than fear. One morning, as Mina walked past the oak tree with Bingo and Tuffy, she noticed something extraordinary. The crystal's glow had spread subtly across the park, making every flower and leaf shimmer with life. Mina felt a deep sense of happiness. She knew that the secret she had discovered, the mystery she had protected, and the gift she had nurtured had all led to this moment of beauty and harmony. She knelt down and touched the crystal gently. "Thank you," she whispered. "We will always protect you, and we will always use your power wisely." The crystal pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat, responding to her words. The figure in the green jacket watched quietly and nodded. "You have done well, Mina. You have grown, learned, and led with courage. The crystal has chosen well, and so has it chosen you." Mina smiled, feeling proud but also humble. She knew that her mornings, her walks with Bingo and Tuffy, and her quiet adventures in the park had prepared her for this responsibility. She had discovered something extraordinary, protected it through careful observation, and shared it in a way that inspired others. As the sun rose higher, Mina continued her walk, holding the leashes of Bingo and Tuffy. The crystal pulsed softly in her pocket, its light mingling with the sunlight and filling her with warmth. Mina realized that she had found more than a secret. She had found courage, wisdom, loyalty, and the joy of discovery. The park was alive with gentle energy, and Mina knew that her mornings would never be ordinary again. She had faced challenges, protected something extraordinary, and earned the respect and admiration of those around her. But most importantly, she had learned to act with care, thoughtfulness, and bravery, qualities that would guide her for the rest of her life. Mina smiled at her dogs, who wagged their tails happily. "Let's go home," she said softly. "We have done something wonderful, and tomorrow we will continue to protect it." The crystal pulsed one last time that morning, filling the park with a gentle glow that would remind everyone that extraordinary things could happen when courage, care, and loyalty were combined. Mina, Bingo, and Tuffy walked home, ready for the next adventure, knowing that the secret they had discovered had changed their lives forever.